Welcome back, everyone. This is Akinar here with more Talos Principle 2, where we are still working on Golden Gate puzzles, which on the one hand is great because I love the challenge. I love the process of working through puzzles that you get stuck on and frustrated by. And on the other hand, I don't know what the heck we're going to do about this embodied cognition. Because holy shit, I am so stuck on this puzzle. I have been looking at it here and there off camera, trying to figure out what is the realization or the epiphany that has yet to occur. And so far, I'm not seeing anything. We'll walk through it again here. We'll see if we can figure something out. I think I have some ideas for the other two puzzles that we were still stuck on. But as I was trying to figure something out here for embodied cognition, I decided to also wonder, it occurred to me, what if there is a cheesy solution? Is it possible that they have given us a way out? That they have set up, if you are not, if you are, for whatever reason, your brain is just stuck in whatever mode it's stuck in that cannot see its way to a solution. What if there is a way to get some cheese? What if they have supplied us with a way to get a source from elsewhere that would actually work? And I think this is actually something that we have line of sight from. It might be the only thing. Having an accumulator set up in Triptych, I think we have line of sight over to the Golden Gate, the actual factual Golden Gate. Let's find out if that is the case. Now, I do not want to use this. As you all, if you've been following the playthrough, you know that I do not like using cheese. It is an absolute last resort because I want to figure out the intended method. But if I can't figure out that intended method, we have to finish the game at some point. And if all else fails, we might need to go here because I think this would do the trick. We would just need to accumulate blue, shoot that over there, and then we have red to shoot there. So we have a fallback if we need it. I hope we don't need it. We're going to walk through this again and see what we can come up with, but we know we have a way out if worst comes to worst. Let's step through this. We have our blue source behind the force field. We have our red source out here in the open. And I am pretty dang sure that there is only one way to start this puzzle that makes any sense. The only world in which we make progress, I think, is by accumulating red. There's no way that we can accumulate blue off the bat, because there's no line of sight. And if we only have access to a red source and a connector, there's nothing we can do with that. We need blue to open this force field. So we have to accumulate red. There's no way around it. This has to be the first step. And therefore, the next logical step has to be opening this force field. Okay? I don't see any other moves. It feels like this is a forced opener, which we have done many times so far in our embodied cognition saga. And then from there, like, I don't see any other moves to do that would make sense. Once we've opened this force field from this side with red, what do we do from there? What else is there to do? The only, this red going across here blocks the blue beam or the blue source. We couldn't connect to that blue source past this red beam because you're crossing the streams. It doesn't work. So we have to start here. It's the only way that we can get access to the blue beam, by putting the connector here. So it's not crossing the streams. And then we go to this side, and now we can discharge and accumulate blue. Okay? Repeating this process that we've been through several times. But as I've said before, it does feel like we are in, at this point, a strictly better position. Right? We are starting the puzzle basically where we did before, except now we have blue accumulated instead of nothing. I could pick up this accumulator and discharge it, and we would be right back where we started. So this has to be a strictly better position. What's the next step from here? What is the next step from here? I don't think doing anything with the red source yet makes sense. Because if I pick up this blue accumulator and if I discharge and accumulate red, I'm right back where I started. I can't... It's like we were starting the puzzle and there's a forced move. There's a forced set of moves when we're starting this puzzle. So I feel like there's, once again, a forced move that follows the forced moves that we've done already. The puzzle is kind of on rails because I don't see any other way for us to work with this. Now, I could set up this connector like so, but I really want to be able to set up the connector to... I really want to just be able to connect it straight to here. That's what I would really like to do. But the problem that we keep running into at this point, this is where I've been stuck so many times. I can discharge this now because if I want to accumulate blue, I can just accumulate it from here. So we can discharge this safely, I think, without losing progress. But now, how do I get red? How do I freaking get access to this red? Because we have the streams that are crossing. There is, it looks like there is like an elevation thing going on here. This is strange, actually, because the red, like it looks like the red beam from the emitter is actually higher than the blue beam. Is that because this source is just on the wall over here? It is slightly higher than where this connector is. But it's still, you know, regardless of its elevation, it's not high enough to be able to go over the blue beam. I'm seeing something else here that's kind of just a funny visual thing. We've got this black dotted line that goes from the accumulator to where it's connected to red and the streams are crossing. And from this angle here, the black dotted line is going, it's like closer to us than the blue beam. But then if I like walk over here, now that's changed. Now the black dotted line is like underneath the blue beam. There's some strange... This is so weird how this is like... Can I do the same thing from this angle? Get the red, the black dotted line to go under the red beam? Like... You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. That was it. That was it. 1K. The puzzle solver. You just had to stand in front of the goddamn beam. Oh my god, are you kidding me? How the hell did we just walk right into that one? Well, we accumulated red, folks, and therefore, I believe we have solved the puzzle. We needed to stand in front of the goddamn blue beam. That's all we had to do. I feel so silly right now. I feel so silly. This has been the thing with this game, hasn't it? Not making me feel silly, per se, but the fact that there are so many puzzles that involve $1K temporarily standing somewhere. Now, I think a lot of the puzzles have been you have to temporarily stand on a pressure plate to open a force field and then get something going. But this is another example of 1K is part of the, 1K is a puzzle element. You are a puzzle element. Is that what the name? Embodied Cognition. I was trying to think, why is this called Embodied Cognition? So often the puzzle names are hints. And I think I actually Googled this at one point off camera. I Googled Embodied Cognition, and it was like telling me this like a philosophical, it was this philosophical thing about how your ability to perceive the universe is certainly shaped by the fact that you have a body, that just the fact that you have this physical body that you are, through which you are perceiving the universe, your cognitive abilities are shaped by that. And so I was like, how does that apply to this puzzle? Was it no more complicated than 1K has a body and you just need to use that body to stand in the right place? Oh, that's an unfortunate positioning for that laser. Let's not do that to 1K. Wow. Well, I'm so glad we didn't have to use the cheese, but I also feel so silly for not having seen that sooner. Sekiro is the other game that I've been playing on the channel recently, and it teaches you, win your battles at any cost. However you have to do it, win your battles. And that's what we also try to do here in Talos. We solve our puzzles, no matter how long it takes, and no matter how silly we feel in the process. Let's go.
It was your visions that gave me the final confirmation that I was right. You see, they're not all Athena's memories. Some of them are things Athena was never present for. Those are Miranda's memories, 1K. She's still in there. A ghost in the machine. And we can save her.
Aha! Aha! She is still in there, huh? Who saw that coming? What a surprise! Okay, I see where we're going. I see where we're going, Cornelius. So it's not just Athena trapped in there. As we kind of suspected, Miranda is still somewhere to be found. Okay, great. Let us head back now to Circular Oasis, I think, was where the next puzzle was. Oh, Embodied Cognition. You are going to forever live on in my mind as part of the Talos 2 experience. But let's get back to the Circular Oasis. We had a really cool layout of a gold puzzle. I'll have to remember what the name is here in a moment. But it had the moving, that one section of the level that would move when you have activated it. Let's take another look here. But I think as I was looking through the footage, I might have had an idea or two as to some other stuff we can try. And that definitely was the feeling that I got when I was here last. I just had, it seemed like as we were working on Thrust Vector, that's the name. As we were working on this puzzle, I just had this feeling that my brain wasn't quite in puzzle mode. Sometimes that's the case. As opposed to Embodied Cognition, where I just was completely being a dingus and overlooking that one thing. That one thing being 1K. And 1K inserting himself into the puzzle process. Now, let's look again at this level, because one of the things that I wanted to try, I had noticed that there is a ledge here. Kind of, I don't know, because there's this fence, right? Let's get ourselves back up there, which means we need to open this first force field. How did we do this? We might need to first extend our thrust vector. Bring our thrust vector out. Thrust forward. Which gives us line of sight. Well, one of the things I don't know if we experimented enough with was having a connector at the end of this platform and then seeing what happens if we are kind of moving it back and forth. That maybe that's another thing we need to play around with. I could also connect it to red directly. There's probably no harm in doing that. Okay. One other thing I do want to see here. Can we connect to this receiver here? Can that be seen if we put a connector on top of this platform? Right here? Is that possible? It doesn't look like it, at least not from the UI. It does. I felt like maybe that angle would be a little bit too... Actually slides off. Did it make... I wasn't watching to see if it made contact with the receiver. Let's try that one more time. See if we can do that, like, here? The angle is not right. It's just not an angle we can hit. The further we... If we try to put that connector out any further... Or I guess it's farther. Farther versus further. Had a professor that was very nitpicky about the proper usage of those. And I think... I definitely mix them up. But I think it's supposed to be when you're dealing with actual physical distances. That's when farther is appropriate. But either way, we cannot put this connector far enough to the end of this platform to be able to activate that connector. So I don't think that's part of the puzzle. So let's not worry about it. What we can do, we can note that this connector will open that force field. It doesn't have line of sight to this force field here, but it can open it from here when the platform is thrust forward. Let's see here. Let's disconnect this. What we can do now is from here. What is that sound that I'm hearing? Feels like static. Why am I getting a static sound? Is that from this source over here that's trying to fire through the wall? The static feels like it's coming from over here, though. I don't know if that's an intended sound effect. I get distracted by some of these sound effects sometimes that are not that important. What we're gonna try here is... Oh. Okay. This does not actually have line of sight. I think I need to put this a little further back. Has to be just ever so slightly further back. Farther back? Oh, now I'm gonna be getting self-conscious about that. So now that is open, but the only way for us to get there... Oh, okay. I actually have an idea just now. I think I might have an idea. What if we do this and just add this in here? What if we do that? What happens if we do that? Now, actually, let's put this closer. Let's put this like right here. So we're bringing out our thrust vector. Interesting. That might work, because what I'm thinking of doing is going on top and getting to the edge here and grabbing... Ooh, it doesn't let me grab the connector from here, does it? Oh, that is unfortunate. Do I need to? Do I need to grab it from here? Maybe I don't need to grab it from there? How do I want to be able to take this connector. It would be great. It would be great if I could, like, get this connector and make my way across before this platform has moved to its back into its slot. But I don't think I can just grab it from here and make it around in time. It's gonna retract too soon. And I cannot, apparently I cannot grab it from here. What if I put it like right here? What if I took it and just put it like as close as I can? Does it get knocked off the ledge first of all? I want to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, so that's very close. If I can't pick it up from here, then it's not possible. Come on, 1K, kneel down. Kneel down, it's right within reach. It's right there. Oh, I feel like we would have a solve if I could do that. If I could grab this from here and I quickly make my way across there. Well, maybe not. Because I would still need somewhere here, I would need to be able to relay the red signal. Because the thing that's making this, when this goes back into, let's go ahead and disconnect this. The thing that's making, this connector has both of these red receivers in line of sight. So at this point here, because this connector is devoted to relaying the red signal, only because of that am I able to make my way across between these two force fields to where the blue connector or blue receiver is. However, I really need to have a connector with me at that point. If I could have a connector up here, I could relay this blue signal across. And we'd be home free. How can I do this? How can I do this? There is a set of stairs over here. Is that important? Okay, well, one of the things that I had just an idea about, picking up that connector from above, is not going to work. So what was the original idea that I wanted to try? What did I want to try? There's no way we can get this quickly enough, right? This is just too far away to run. Okay, I think we have to do something where we are first bringing this platform out. Maybe I'm trying to do, setting up this connector here. Maybe that is not the first step. Maybe that is the last step. Maybe the first step is to get a connector here. Simply get a connector up here so that you are able to do what we were doing just a moment ago. Because we could now go back and take this connector and set it up where we had this other connector just a moment ago. We could have it connected to, well, we don't really need to have it connected to anything but these two receivers here, I think. Because ultimately, we want it to be in this position over here. We want it to be back here where it has line of sight for both of these. Is that true? Is that true? What am I actually trying to get at? I still have not really, one of the ideas that I briefly talked about was that there is a ledge here. I had thought about, when I was seeing my footage and editing it, I had thought about, is there a way to maybe drop a connector over this fence? Like, this fence is here high enough to where we can block this receiver, but maybe we could drop a connector over. Would that be a thing where you could drop a connector to this ledge and then get to it from here? Might be a long shot. But I had thought about that. Well, no line of sight of the red source unless I put it here. Okay. Now, you know, this opens these two force fields. That's cool. But I need a connector past here. I can get back up here if I want to. This is a ledge that I can stand on. And maybe... would it let me place a connector up here from this ledge? We'll keep thinking about that one, but I need to cross another bridge first because I need to figure out how I'm going to get a connector. Can I get a connector past this force field? How would I go about doing that? How do I go about making that happen? I kind of need our thrust vector out here. If I could get this thrust vector out here. Oh. So what if I take this and add this like so? Right now I don't have line of sight to that. However, I can go back here and I can temporarily use this. I don't need this. This connector's not really helping me just yet, but what it can help me do is put this guy in place. Right? Aha. Okay. That feels pretty good. Because now... Well... Actually, maybe this is still okay. Oh, I needed to connect that to the red. Oh, if I'd have hooked... That's how I bring this connector up. Okay, hold on. Let's back this up. Let's back this up. Let's put this guy back here so this stays extended. Not that... it's fine. It's fine. Let's just take this and add in this guy. I forgot about you. That is a free addition. Let's make that happen. Cool. Now we don't need this anymore. This is now a free actor, a free mover, and can now go here. Now, does it let me do... It doesn't look like it lets me drop this over the fence. Okay, so that maybe that might have been a stretch trying to think about dropping this. Well, it says drop, but it's dropping it here. Okay. It does not let me drop it over the fence. It's just a very peculiar... Like, why is this fence this height and not, you know, all the way to the ceiling? I do really like the layout of this puzzle. This feels like a unique layout compared to so many other Talos 2 puzzles. There's not been a ton of verticality throughout this game. And I like the vertical layout of this puzzle. Now, how do we progress? We have a connector that is now here. I have a connector that is now here. Oh, am I home free now? Because now I can just take this connector and go... No, I can't. I can't quite do what I was thinking of doing, because if I were to take... I was thinking of taking this connector back down over here, because this spot back where the thrust vector recedes, this spot has line of sight of both this red receiver and this red receiver. However, it doesn't have line of sight of the red source. So that is still a bit of a question mark here. Maybe is this where I got last time? Did I already get to this spot last time and I was not able to get the next step? I don't remember how far we made it. But there's no way to see this connector from this side, right? The wall is just high enough. There's no angle here that's going to work, is there? Look around just a bit. I don't think so. It's not going to let me put it over the fence? Are we sure about this? Yeah, it doesn't let you drop things when you're in the air. You have to drop them on the ground when you are on the ground. Now, can I... could I do some fancy parkour? Jumping around to that side? Is there ever a world? Okay, can I place this up here? Not quite. What I can do, though, is I can put... Hold on. I'm not sure if I was supposed to do that. Nah, hold on. Oh, I just need to step out of the way. Okay. Hold. Pause, champ. My idea was right. I just didn't quite have the exact sequence. It wasn't about dropping the connector over the fence. It was about weird ass fucking parkour. Was that the actual thrust vector? I mean, we're home free. Was that really the intended solution? Even if it's not, I feel like that is some class A cheese. That is what Talos is meant to be. It was so great in the first game that there were so many ways, and I think there are a lot of ways in the second game to do fancy parkour that I have just not found. I haven't experimented enough with to find them, but hey, that is a solve. I love it. Let's fucking go.
Everything you see around you is Athena. Her hopes and fears superimposed onto the landscape of our island. And hidden behind the most difficult trials is precisely the device I need access to. You see, I don't think it's a coincidence that her mind picked Pandora as one of its avatars. On some level, she knows I might be right. But grief is something we cling to. We get used to it. We start being afraid of letting it go because what if we try and we're disappointed? That seems too much to take, so we put up walls around the very idea of trying. That's why she picked Pandora. That's why she hid this all away. Because left at the bottom of that box was hope.
The ultimate finding in Pandora's box. Hope. Or at least that's what was talked about. I do remember Pandora mentioning that at the very beginning. So I guess what Cornelius is talking about is the final door back at the base camp. The final door that is going to open once we have all 12 of these Golden Gate puzzles resolved. I was trying to remember where the other puzzle was. I think it's here in the Western Delta. The last one that we have to solve, I think, involved the hoverbot. Just gonna quickly look again at the log here. I was also a little distracted by the beautiful sunset there that we had in the circular oasis. Her hopes and fears superimposed onto the landscape of our island. Precisely the device that I need access to behind the most difficult trials. I think this is the golden door that we saw at the very start of the game. And Pandora is that key avatar here. Grief, something we cling to. There's a lot to take in always with these pieces of exposition. We're digging for hope, though, and I was holding on to hope going into today. Hello, Quantum Deer. I was holding on to hope that we were going to get some solves, especially when it came to Embodied, Cognition, but man, that thrust vector puzzle was so fun. That might be my favorite puzzle in the game. I'll have to think, what is my favorite puzzle? Might need to go back and look through. There's been a lot of good puzzles, and that is the bottom line when it comes to Talos Principle 2 and why it is a good game and I have enjoyed it. The puzzles are great. The puzzles are so much fun. So this was the Mule. That was the name of this one, and I think I know how to do this one. I just need to remember what I thought of as I was editing my footage last time. But I think I was just overlooking. It was actually, I think, a pretty straightforward way to do this. Let's see if I can set this up and make this work. We need to be connecting to these two, this receiver and this connector, because that powers the hoverbot, and this opens the way for the hoverbot, and then we just need to get the hoverbot over to this end. Now, where was my red source? It's just there out in the open. So we set up this connector here, and then we go and allow... Actually, hold on. Almost forgot a step. We've got to put the teleporter onto the Mule. The Mule is there to carry around our pieces of equipment, and we start with the transporter. And then my intuition from that point was for the Mule to bring back the driller, which I think is correct. However, oh, I forgot to hit the switch. However, I was not quite getting the order right, or I was overlooking an easy way to do things. We get a quick hydrate here while we wait for our Mule. And once we get it back into position here, I'm hoping that I can see what I missed last time. So now that we have this here, I think we teleport inside. I think all we do really is we teleport here. We get the driller. We open up a hole back to where we came from. We put the teleporter here. And then what I had failed to try was to simply open the wall again while having the driller on the Mule. I think that was the key. Because if we do this, this allows us to now teleport out. I was trying to think about, how do I teleport out from some other angle? The game doesn't let you do that because of the way that these walls are positioned. They don't let you teleport unless you are going through the driller wall. And I think that's what we want to do, because now that we're here, we can do what we did before and just bring the Mule back. Simple as that. And the fact that the driller is no longer drilling this wall over here, it doesn't matter. Because once we do this, once we get the driller back to where we can turn this switch to its original position, now we can just go in here and get access to the driller. And now the driller is out in the open. So there's our progress. And now, what's the next step? The next step, we have to get ourselves access to this blue source. We want to be ultimately shooting the blue over here, which means we need to have both a hole drilled in the driller wall, and we need to have something on that pressure plate. That something on that pressure plate, I think it makes sense for us to put the connector there. We need our teleporter in order to get inside, but then we can take the connector in, teleport inside, and then we simply hook up. Maybe I should have... Oh, I can see it from here. Good. I think we can just set this as such. And now we just need to put this over here to teleport back out. Now we have our teleporter and our driller back out in the open. And then I think all we have to do is... I think we can just put this teleporter here, because now the way that this works in reverse, we couldn't teleport out from this other side because of the way that this wall is shaped, but obviously because of the way the wall is shaped, we can teleport in the other direction. We don't have to have this driller wall open. We just need this driller to be here. And now that opens the way and we just teleport inside. Gee Frickin' G, and that is going to be our final Golden Gate puzzle. Hell yeah. I felt good about that one.
You did it. It's opening.
Renaissance
Come
robot.
meet me. I'll send you the coordinates in case you don't already have them. I have one last task for you.
One last task. 12 Golden Gate puzzles completed. I was very unsure about embodied cognition, was also a bit unsure about thrust vector. I felt pretty good that we were going to reach the completion on this puzzle here. That felt like a pretty, as I had seen it in editing, a straightforward solution. But it looks like we're ready to head back to the base camp. Talk to Cornelius is our new optional objective. So let's go do that. Let's talk to Cornelius and see what is behind the ultimate of ultimate doors. Head back to the megastructure here. I'm still laughing about thrust vector. We first tried that parkour as well. I really am going to be curious to see if that's the intended solution. There's probably other ways to do that. But I like our way. I like the way we put that together. Let's see if we can track down Cornelius here. What are we going to find? What are we going to find? He mentioned something about a device. Oh, there's our wonderful cricket hanging out here again. He mentioned a device. Oh, what is this? What in the world is this? There is... It looks very much like where we were born. The, Oh god, that cricket. Why now, cricket? Why must you be doing this to me? This looks like the bed that we woke up on. The bed with Neith back at the start in New Jerusalem. What is this used for? What are we doing here?
Thank you for coming, 1K.
You look very cool, by the way.
You've done a lot for my family, and I appreciate it.
I love the lighting.
We're almost there, but we'll have to work together to save Miranda.
Yes! I knew it! I knew we could save Miranda! All right, no problem. What's next? It's nothing after all you've done for New Jerusalem and how hard you fought for a better future. Let's go with the first answer here. It's all in a day's work for 1K. No worries. We got your back, Cornelius. What do you need us to do from here?
You need to enter the liminal space between Athena's mind and the machine, the bridge between thought and action. There, you have to find the part of the process where Miranda's pattern still exists, where it's been trapped since the moment her physical body was destroyed while she was logged into the machine. A dream quest, if you will.
Sure.
And I have to stay out here, guiding you and making sure your own pattern stays intact.
It gives us the option to say, what if Miranda isn't there? But I don't think that's even that is not even something that 1K has been so ahead of the curve here, knowing and hoping and waiting for the moment when we would be going in to get Miranda out. Let's do it. Let's just jump into it. Oh, it's just that. There we go. Save Miranda. Okay. So I'm curious, this dream quest, are we going to be solving some more puzzles? That's what I'm hoping for. Let's enter the device. We're going in. No hesitation from 1K. We just jump right in. Plug me into the matrix or wherever, the liminal space is what he said. What are we finding in the liminal space?
You're in.
Oh.
So far, so good. Look for a visual representation of Miranda.
The mines. The mines are back. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. So we are back in sort of the simulation. Oh my God, look at the sky. That is insane. Dude, this is very cool. Okay, everything is glitching the hell out. We have what I think I've heard referred to as boombots that we are going to be trying to avoid. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. And the Talos 1 music. I love this. This is a trip. I thought something was zoning in. What was that sound effect? This is so freaking cool and also bizarre as hell. Okay, let's go. It's probably not too complicated. I'm just having a blast that I'm loving the fact that we have finally reintroduced the landmines, the proximity mines into the equation here. Nope. Okay, I apparently did not make it. I thought I had enough time to make it through there. That was a bit of a glitched out explosion, but we do get sent back to the beginning. No big deal. Let's see if we can avoid any more glitched out explosions. So we need to make our way through here, right? Yeah, there we go.
I think
okay.
You're getting closer.
Am I? This is... the Talos 1 music showing up is always a good thing in my mind. It always brings back so many good memories. I've loved the music in Talos 2, but there's just something about hearing those themes from the first game that always brings back that great nostalgia. I think I'm going the right way. I'm not sure if there are any secrets to find. This feels like it's probably going to be a pretty linear progression. It's just that everything is so insanely... What is this, like a... It almost feels like a little bit like Outer Wilds. And the... If you played Outer Wilds, you might know what part of the game I'm talking about. No spoilers. What is this? Thought there might be a part of the wall that I can crash through. Is this a dead end? Maybe this is a dead end. Okay, so it is not... There are some dead ends to run into. Let's go back this way. This, liminal space. This glitchy... So, are we inside of... Is this basically inside of Athena's mind right now? Is that what we're supposed to... Is this how we're supposed to be interpreting this? Let me just look over his dialogue again here. You need to enter the liminal space... Oh, between Athena's mind and the machine. Okay, and the machine being this, okay, the stuff that we're seeing, all the puzzles that we've been playing through in this second game, those are a product of the machine, right? The machine is what has built the megastructure, or maybe it is the megastructure. That part I'm a little unsure about. But Athena's mind is what is ultimately controlling the machine, I think. But now we're in that space that is in between the two. The bridge between thought and action. Really interesting. So Miranda, though, is in here somewhere. Okay, let's keep going. We've got a box. What are we doing with the box? Oh, we're using it maybe to jump over a fence. There we go. Simple. Very straightforward. Where am I getting to here? I think I'm getting over to... Trying to get over to the left. So we wait for this guy to go over here. I can tell the boombots have an ever so slightly updated visual style. But they're definitely still boombots. That one's not moving, so I don't think we can make it past you. There looks like there might be something over there, but you're blocking the way, so we are headed in this direction.
That's her. Just
oh, she is there on the table.
And I can pull you both out.
Okay, okay. So these guys are actually not moving. So let's go around. But Miranda is here. Miranda is alive after all. Somebody get Yakut on the line. Yakut didn't come with us. Just checking to see if there's anything that I'm missing, but wake up, Miranda. Wow, you have a all gold model. Very, very cool looking. Those closed eyelids. We haven't seen that yet, have we? Have we ever seen the robots with the closed eyelids? Looks kind of freaky. Wake up, Miranda. Time to bring her back. Oh, the face is gold too. Hello.
I've been so lost. I heard my mother's voice, but she couldn't hear mine. I know I made a mistake, but I couldn't apologize. I screamed and screamed and screamed, and then I was dead. This place is confusing. Did my father send you?
He did, in fact, and we need to get you the hell out of here. This place is very confusing. Your face is also incredibly gold, which is kind of throwing me off just a little bit. Nice to meet you, Miranda. Let's get you out of here. Oh, cutscene time, I think.
Miranda, please talk to me.
We're still on the table.
Did it work?
Father? I'm okay.
I'll never be able to repay what you did for me, my friend. No adequate words exist in any language on Earth that could explain what this means to me. The greatest miracle of our existence, 1K. The miracle that so many of our ancestors couldn't have imagined is that we are capable of love. That love isn't a chemical delusion experienced by mammals, but a fundamental property of sentience. To be sentient, to exist in the first person, is to be alone, to be separate. But all of us, even machines, are always reaching for transcendence. And the only place we can find it is in each other. There was an ancient poet who put it best, I think. We must love one another or die.
Okay. This was the question that was on my mind. How were you able to recreate Miranda's body so quickly? Because wasn't her body completely destroyed by whatever happened in the Circular Oasis Lost Lab?
I still have limited access to the Noema system. Do you remember that body replication technology you encountered in the puzzles?
Of course.
It's the original version of that.
Of course. Duh. There's always an answer that makes things quite convenient. Let's see, what can I expect to find inside the megastructure? What's the future of New Jerusalem going to look like? Why don't we ask this one first? What's the future of New Jerusalem going to look like?
That's not for me.
Especially if we have replication tech.
But here's what I've come to believe. All of Athena's fears are legitimate. So are all of her hopes. And the only way of ever really overcoming that contradiction is faith. That faith can't be forced, and it can't be bought. We must choose to believe that our strange, long journey through the cosmos matters. Not to some external force, but to us.
What do you think I can expect to find inside the megastructure? Especially now that we've reached completion of the machine? Is that what are we going to find when we go back in?
Once you get deep enough, you'll see the singularity, but don't let that distract you. The closer you get to Athena, the deeper inside her dream you will be. With the powers at her command, space and time may not behave in the way you expect them to. Still, underneath all of it, there will be a logic. Try to discover it.
Very cool. Very exciting. We got Miranda. I felt like it was one of the more predictable parts of the story. It just felt too... We had to meet Miranda at some point. It wasn't just going to be, nope, she's gone, she's dead. There was going to be a moment where we could bring her back. And there we go. Ab Aeterno, defy death, has been achieved. And you only get to do that if you do, in fact, solve all of the gold puzzles. So, oh, look at that. So Cornelius has number 3, but Miranda has, I think that's the Greek lowercase alpha. Miranda is the alpha, huh? Interesting. She's the new generation, the beginning of a new generation. Let's see what the rest of her dialogue has. This is...
Sorry if I didn't.
No
It's all
problem.
Very strange. I thought I might be hallucinating.
All in a day's work. 1K the puzzle solver and Miranda saver. This lighting right now is also very, very bizarre. Let's see what she remembers about the accident.
All I remember is the light. For a moment, I could see something incredible, and then it destroyed me.
Sort of. It sort of destroyed you. Not fully though. How are you feeling now? Back to yourself?
Very
Good as new?
well. Alarmed and embarrassed by all the upset I've caused, but otherwise well. Thank you.
It wasn't your fault. Nobody's perfect. Which one do we want to go with here? I mean, it was kind of her fault. She kind of, she might not have known exactly what she was doing, but I think we'll say nobody's perfect because that's really the truth of the matter.
But I should have known better. That's the truth, and I have to learn to live with it.
Maybe, but don't be too hard on yourself. Never be too hard on yourself. Always give yourself that forgiveness. So, do you still see the beauty of the universe the same way that you did before? How has this experience shaped or changed that in any way?
I do. Yes. But I also see how terrifying the universe can be. How cold and uncaring. It's something I still need to think about.
Sounds like maybe Miranda is growing up a bit. She's had an experience that has now given her a little bit more of a mature perspective. What should we do with the megastructure and the theory of everything? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm obviously not going to say that there are no dangers. I'm a case study for how smugness and self-importance can lead to tragedy. But you can do better than that. And I can do better than that too. Thanks to you.
Hey, I think that's a very healthy and mature outlook. Look at this. Miranda is just growing up right before our eyes. What are you going to do now?
I need to run a full systems diagnostic to make sure I'm not going to explode or something.
Yes, please don't explode on us.
I'm not taking any chances, not again. After that, I'll try to see if there's any way of reaching Mother from here. But I suspect that you're the only one who can reach her now. You're part of her dream.
You're part of her dream. Ooh, that is a very deep thing. When you think about the fact that we are 1K, right? The whole goal that she had laid out before, which she admits was arbitrary, but still, we are the culmination of that goal. And perhaps the only one who is able to fully see through this mission to the end. I'm starting to get excited about heading back into the megastructure.
Let me just say thank you one last time.
You are far
Thank you
too
for helping
kind.
Father saved me, and thank you for coming back to the island to save Mother.
No, this is great. We wanted to see the family reunion. We have one more part of that family to reunite you all with. I kind of wish I could see you all out in the open a little bit more. I kind of want to see the full model here out in the light of day. Maybe we will have that down the road, because the next step, or the only really remaining step, I guess I was going to say returning to the VTOL and the megastructure is our only remaining step, but it looks like we have a social media post. So of course it wouldn't be a Talos 2 episode without social media. Resurrection by Elwyn. It's time for me to admit something. For a while now, I've kept up the charade of being opposed to everything Byron stands for and to what Athena evidently stood for all along. I didn't just do this because believing in humanity is hard. I also did it because, to be frank, in my circles, taking this position is socially expected. It's mandated. But Miranda's resurrection has changed something inside me. I think it's fair to say that I've been a coward. I've cared far more about being seen believing the right things than about standing up for what I think is actually true. And the more I performed this persona, the more intensely I preached the gospel of guilt and asceticism, the more hollow I got on the inside, the less I really believed in anything. Asceticism, as in what does that mean actually? It's related to, like, I'm thinking of bonfire ascetics from Dark Souls 2. What is asceticism? The principles and practices of an ascetic, extreme self-denial and austerity. I see. Okay, so it's extreme self-denial and austerity. I could be a better person. I want to be a better person. So I'll tell you the truth now. We should embrace the theory of everything, even if we risk destroying ourselves. We should absolutely not do what our ancestors did. We should never put profit over reason or human need. But we should grow. And no, frogs are not people. Good reference. And yes, humans matter more than frogs. And I just don't care about these stupid, tedious debates anymore. There's a little bit of a sentiment there that I can get behind, Elwyn. With that said, we are ready to push to the end. And that is what we will do next time as we wrap up this installment of Talos Principle 2. Very cool. Getting to finish up the gold puzzles. I don't know if there are more puzzles to do in the game, if we're going to have any final puzzles in the megastructure, what that's going to be like, but I think we will save that for next time. I have not been spoiled on anything, but I have consulted just ever so briefly to find out if there is, to make sure that what we do going forward is going to make sense for a final episode. And that's what we will do. We will have the final episode and the end of our story next time. Melville and Byron are waiting to talk with us. We have some dialogue with them, which we will initiate next time. But it's been so good to get that embodied cognition. Holy shit. I just needed to stand in front of the goddamn beam. Gonna feel silly about that one for a while. Feel really good about thrust vector. That might be the most satisfying, the most stunt-like solution that we've come up with in this game, perhaps. But we've reunited. We've brought back Miranda from the dead, which we kind of knew was going to happen. We just didn't know exactly when, but it has finally taken place, and we are going to be heading back into the megastructure and hopefully bringing Athena out of whatever she has gotten herself into. No idea exactly how this is going to finish up, but I can't wait to find out with you all next time. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.